Now, Storm Tracker 9 weather with Chief Meteorologist Justin Stapleton.
All right, cold air is on its way. In fact, it's just behind me there. I'll show you the location of the cold front in a second. We're in sort of what we call the warm sector right now. That's why the temperatures have been mild, sitting in the mid-50s most of the day. And we've seen things very breezy out there. A lot of winds pulling up out of the south. That is all going to crash considerably to a much, much colder forecast as we head in towards midweek. So let's get outside and show you right what we got on the Storm Tracker 9 live radar. So we've got a whole lot going on, so let's get to it. All right, cold front right now starting to clear Seattle. You can see the big definition from where the what we call a little more stratiform rain. That's kind of the real widespread kind of blanket rain, and the cold stuff up above there. This is the cold, unstable air that we always talk about in the wintertime. That will start to move southward by tomorrow afternoon and pretty much take over most of our forecast for the rest of the week. As you might expect, that is going to drop the snow lines pretty quickly too. Tonight, though, they are well above the passes, even up around Mount Hood. You're getting some just, I'd say, Timberline and above that, and even around Timberline, it's probably like a wet, slushy, nasty snow. You got to get all the way up towards the peak where it's actually starting to stick pretty considerably. For the most part, though, the Cascades will just be wet tonight, so that's good for travel. Tomorrow night, that will not be the case as we see this system continue to drag southward. Look at these temperatures today, well above where we should be in the upper 40s for this time of year. 61 in Pendleton, 56 in Klamath Falls, 56 in Eugene as well, 55 in Corvallis, 55 also in North Bend, and 57 officially in Portland. Now, where we start tonight at midnight is likely going to be the high for tomorrow, because as this low drops southward, all this cold air is spilling in with it as well. We're going to have what we call midnight highs, and that's basically the temperature at 12 o'clock will probably be about the warmest we'll see for tomorrow. As we clear overnight into tomorrow, you can see the snow starting to pick up in some intensity along the Cascades. Still rain in the valley here, but let's roll the clock as we go in towards late afternoon, and we're starting to see some Mary's Peak, for example, over into the Coast Range and getting closer down into the foothills. Overnight into Tuesday is when, if, and this is a huge if, there's any moisture left over, the cold air will likely push those snow lines down close to the valley floor. But I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of moisture, maybe just some spotty flurries. So that's kind of what we'll go with. Now, the passes for late tomorrow evening, we'll likely see anywhere from around 4 to 7 inches, and then the cold air moves in behind that, and we're talking major cold air for midweek, and it looks like it's going to extend all the way in through the end of the week as well. So we'll go showers, breezy overall tomorrow along the coast, winds around 10 to 15. They'll be stronger in the morning, backing off by the afternoon. In the Umpqua, temperatures falling from the upper 40s throughout the day, probably to the upper 30s by late afternoon. Blowing snow, icy as well. Passes are going to be real treacherous, especially the later on in the day you have to travel over top of them. Scattered showers turning to snow showers in central Oregon. Overnight lows dipping into the 20s quickly, and for us here in the valley will be in the upper 40s again around midnight, probably through the morning, and then we'll see the temperatures by late afternoon fall into the low 40s and upper 30s. Now, the cold air invades along the coast as well, as overnight lows will drop down into the mid-20s before we'll start to slowly go back up into the Umpqua Basin. It will dry out, but it is a cold forecast. Overnight lows well socked into the mid to low 20s. Cascades, snow for the next couple of days, and then the freezing level down at the surface, and we got single-digit overnight lows. And for us here in the valley, we could be looking at some of the coldest overnights that we've seen just in a couple of years. And there's a slight chance we could get another little disturbance move through Friday and Saturday. If we do, we will absolutely get snow at that point because it's cold enough.
Well, that explains why the Egan Warming Center is activating this week.
Yeah, they just went clear, activate for Tuesday night, and they're on standby for the rest of the week. My guess is they're probably going to continue to open up.
All right, thanks, Justin.
You bet.